Red Nights in LA. He lands at number 4 this week with Place Town View. Social media princess, Nikita Mom. Keep up on all the latest by following us on Facebook and Twitter at American Country Countdown. I'm Suzanne Alexander. Thanks for joining me. Have an incredible weekend.
95.5 WFM Asheville. It must be Sunday again. How are you? Steve Stewart here. I'll be hanging out, surfing the airwaves. Feel free to watch Gravity Board. Get some wax on it. Time to hit the airwaves. Home is where my heart is still beating.
Okay, so we've got a little bit of a different setup this year here at UCC. Normally, it's a battle of attrition. You have to run all 3 days with the same truck. Well, this year we changed the rules a little bit.
Yeah, you're allowed to bring in a secondary truck, a specialist truck, to go sled pulling. We've got a few guys who are sticking to the traditional spirit of this event and running their truck in all 3 events. There's a whole bunch of guys who brought in that ringer as well, and we got some wild stuff to show you.
Yes, we do. So we're going to run a couple of trucks, just a couple of test pulls here, make sure everything's ready to go.
We got the high stakes machine. This is going to be one of 2 test trucks we're going to put on the track. And our sled belongs to Mr. Dan, your past pulling LLC out of Coldwater, Michigan. Class 7 sled, one of the 4 that they own and ship all over the nation.
And Wade Minter was 5th. Our dyno results from yesterday: Justin Ziegler in 1st, Derek Rose in 2nd, Chris Patterson in 3rd, Ben Francis in 4th, and Tony Burkhart in 5th.
Our first hook, I'm on the mic. Can you guys hear me up there? Yeah? Our first truck, this is a test one on Sled Pull Sunday from Indiana. This truck is new to hit this winter. The Power Fly under the hood is not quite new to hit, but it is fairly new. This is going to be the very first hook on this truck with this combination. It's a 2.6 Grove Street truck puller. Formerly had a mechanical pump under the hood. Now it's got a common rail coming. Freedom Racing engines. Help the police. Called the High Stakes.
Very similar setup in terms of its appearance and design. To me, it looks like a kind of a sister truck to Evan Russ's Inline Hustle. It's on the same shop. Very successful here in Central Indiana with the IPO and other road groups. So, see what we can make happen here. .265, and 29. I've been able to go to the short course here due to the constraints that we are provided with. A 300-foot launch means you're going to be burning out on the pavement.
Puts more weight on the pan, more pressure on the pan, wheels will come off the ground, and makes it harder to pull the further you go down the track. Now we don't care about speed in pulling. Obviously speed's important, creates momentum, but all we care about is the distance. Doesn't matter how fast you get there, it's how far you go. And it's not smooth under that pan either. There's grousser bars, usually like angle iron bolted to the bottom of it to make it harder to pull as you go further down the track.
second test hook out of Indiana. 3-0 diesel truck puller.
We got 265 out of the 26 truck. We're going to look at a 3-0 truck and then decide if we need to make an adjustment on the sled for the full competition. Bearing in mind, we've got some iron coming in this class with cup tires and multiple chargers and big horsepower. Want to have a good competition, fair competition, but also a safe one. Test of coming right up the middle. The 3.0-inch Charger version on wheels as per the rules. And open drive line. Try to come and get it.
Some of the changes we can make to the sled, we don't always have to add more weight. Dan Nairpass, our sled operator out here this afternoon, he can change the gearing in that sled so that the box moves forward faster, thus making it harder to pull. So if you go to an indoor pull on a short track, you'll see that box basically just flying forward because you only have a 200 or 240, 250 foot track. Out here we've got over 300 feet, so we have a little bit more room to work with. That's the 100-foot mark. So all of our competitors out here today, we're no pull out today, one run and done, right? So what this yellow flag is you get 2 attempts to make a measurable distance, right? So if you start taking off, something happens, you get out of the throttle before this 100-foot mark, you're good to go, we pull you back, you get another shot. If you go past this 100-foot mark and your hand is still on the throttle, that's your distance. So if you have 100 feet to make a decision, you say, man, that launch was not good, that's not what I want, I'm gonna back out and I'm gonna give it another shot. So that's what this yellow flag here represents. The first truck that's going to count, the Common Sense truck, pulling for Chris Buheider. This is the Common Sense truck, obviously a Dodge Cummins out of Paris, Illinois. Tim Tuttle doing the driving.
At various times throughout the event, you'll hear us refer to the truck being of a certain style. We'll call it the 3.0 truck or a limited pro stock truck. This is one of those. What we're referring to is the rule set it is built to run with during the summertime. 3.0 is a reference to the intake on the turbocharger. It can be no larger than 3 inches with no mat width room. It's a straight 4-spool bore, 3-inch charger. And along with those rules, it must be OEM chassis, full body. It has to be on a 35-inch tall maximum DOT tire and is allowed to be open drive line. Hard-headed out of the hole, had the tires up and spinning. Not high ground speed, but able to carry it 267, 76. chance to chat with Brian Shue in the pit area this morning about this truck to find out if he changed anything from 3.0 spec to 3.6. He said no, just the tires. It's the only difference. Unless he was sandbagging me. I didn't go under there with a tape measure.
That's right, that's right. So after Brian, on deck will be Eric Merchant, Chris Patterson, you're in the hole. And Turbo Tommy thinking about it.
Assuming that he wasn't sandbagging me, this is in true 3.0 spec. It'll be interesting to see the difference the tires alone makes versus the trucks that just went.
Is this Brian's first time running cut tires?
It is the first time he's run cut tires. He did run in what we call the Pro Stock, the 3.6 class over the wintertime, a couple times indoors, but he's still in full 3.0 trim. This is the first time on the cuts for Brian.
Because as you stated in the normal outdoor summer class, you have to run the DLC tires.
Yep. Green light is on. Tony Hewitt is our starting flag man. Evan Berry on the sticks at the far end. Side, nobody been over there too much yet. 283.53 for the lead.
Eric Merchant.
Truck completely just shuts off on Eric. Kill's not pulled on you.
Eric Merchant got out of the throttle before 100 feet, so he's going to get his second hook.
We can't blame Eric Merchant actually because Joe Hilgendorf's driving. Blame Joe.
Now this truck is in true UCC fashion, has competed in all three disciplines this weekend, specializes in sled pulling, so this is the specialty for this truck.
Yep, Joe had a pulling truck of his own in the past, so he's skilled behind the wheel and knows what he's doing. This is the first Duramax to ever hit 1,000 horsepower, way back when. Eric Merchant's baby, Old Blue out of Zeeland, Michigan.
something may have let go on the front end at the very end of that run. Looked like he was trying to spin out, and then all of a sudden I saw the front tire stop turning. A lot better hook for the Merchant Auto team. $297 even for the Merchant Automotive team. $297 even. That's going to put him in second place so far.
And Joe's going to drive it away. Nothing leaking on the track, so.
Dodge. They'll be followed by Turboton Burrell, the Fancy Hooker pulling for Wade Minter, and then Tony Burkhart with Dirty Hooker Diesel.
Rich Patterson coming up from Texas. Ran the truck in all three events. Very busy on the dyno yesterday. Whacked it, I don't know, 6-7 times. Proving the durability of the iron plant. Thank you, Bill. If you were with us late on Friday night in the fourth and final session, way past dark, he went for a ride down Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park, pushed it over toward the center line, saved it from crossing, pumped the throttle one time, and when he did, right rear axle snapped, and we thought for sure we were going to have to peel him off the wall, but somehow he got that truck pointed straight.
Lot of shape all over the place. He had Sparks trailing that truck down track. He got back after it, but some.
Same truck, all three disciplines coming out here in a dyno spec with the triple chargers installed under the hood on mud grapplers all the way around. DOT tire. We are green. Chris Patterson from Texas. Unrivaled diesel team. Chris has been paying attention about how to go to sled pulling. The RPM spiked down track. You'll unlock the torque converter so it didn't pull the engine down underneath the chargers and gains you some footage on the right track. Good job by Chris there.
Yeah, that was a good hook. He'll be knocking on the door, Charles.
Hats off to this man out of Corridor, Pennsylvania, Turboton Burrell. You can go on YouTube. His YouTube page is Turboton. That's Turbo with an A. Everything he has ever done with his truck is documented on that channel. He's got the cardboard sign made up on the front tank. Turboton, one truck, 3 events. Trevor Peterson flew in from Utah to help out with the truck. He is at the driver's door, conversing with Tom himself. Now, reverse is out on this truck. We had to have Dan go out there and fetch him and take it back to the starting line. He was really hoping to have this truck on cup tires for this event. He had a Rockwell rear axle to go in the chassis and just flat ran out of time to complete the build for that. Freedom Racing Engines power plant has help on the transmission as well from Muldoon's. The rest of this truck created by Tom in a 2-bay garage outside his house. Hats off to this guy. Had a top finish in his first UCC appearance here 1 year ago. Now the 6.4 jet plate comes. I think he's back to single charger spec here for the sled pole. Let's see how he gets on. Casey Hooker track drying out just a little bit here in the hot noonday sun. Where the rear tires has to not only claw its own path, but it has to contend with everything being thrown at it. So it'll spring around a little bit better. Light bar on, he is an EMT and firefighter back on Iron Beach. Third pass on the brand new motor for 2022.
Intron truck out of the great state of Missouri, pulling for Josh McCormack.
Megatron machine goes out of Central Missouri. A lot of help from Perkins Diesel. This one tough run. 3-hole machine. If you like this style of sled pulling, I invite you the last weekend of August to go just south of here, about an hour, 20 minutes drive to Wagner Motorsports Park and watch 20 for the finals both days. It's the granddaddy of diesel truck pulling, Shine Diesel Extravaganza. Side, good run there for Megatron. There's another team-up truck. Charlie Fish KC Turbos team out of Phoenix, Arizona does work very closely with Warren Diesel Injection and Jesse Warren out of Pennsylvania. This is Jesse's superstar pulling truck, the Shark Bait Machine. I'm going to be generous, and I don't mean to insult against Jesse in any particular way. He works extremely hard on the 6.0 platform, but this truck has unfortunately been the feature of a lot of highlight reels for undoing fires. Well, Jesse said, you know what, I am so tired of blowing up stock blocks. This truck has the world's first all-billet 6.0 power stroke. They did put it on the dyno yesterday, and didn't get what they wanted out of it. The first rip at it, the ECU went into a limp mode. They had to reprogram it, and they were able to get 1,600 horsepower out of it on the wheel dyno yesterday. On the engine dyno, the very early testing on it has yielded 2,100 horsepower out of this unit with compound chargers. Jesse Warren now very much in his element out here on the dirt. Well, let's bring him on. Jesse Warren and Shark Bait.
that right there, fans. Put your hands together if you like the old 6-liter today.
Truck for all three disciplines. Again, we want to thank Hot Shot Secret, the sponsor of the sled pulling competition and the final leg of the Triple Crown of the AMSOIL Ultimate Callout Challenge presented by KT Performance. We will crown a champion right here this afternoon for UCC 2022.
Give her all she had. Nice run, Robbie. You see it. An International Harvester DT466 compound turbochargers, a 4.3 on the manifold, and an in-excessive 5-inch charger up top. All billet P-pump, making it well north of 2,500 horsepower. Runs out in eastern Ohio, western Pennsylvania. USA East, the classic call, run what you brought. You will see trucks out there running big cubic inch on nitrous. You'll see creations such as this. You'll see super lot trucks. You'll see pro-charged trucks, two-wheel drive trucks, super stock diesels all running. Heads up on a sled pulling track. I want to see this truck run in competition for several years, and really happy that the NS team has brought it here for all of you to share and the experience.
In all the years of pulling, I have never seen this either, so this will be very, very exciting.
I don't know what the tire speed was, but you could hear the tires buzzing on the top end.
For the Ben Francis entry.
I had to ask him, I had to know, because we can hear those tires buzzing down there. So what is the tire speed in that gear you're running? 70 miles an hour.
They won the dyno competition last night, took over the overall lead, and they have Calvin Miller coming in, running in a red, out of Pennsylvania. Now this is a specifically built sled pulling truck, runs all over the country, so very experienced at sled pulling. The Ziegler team looking to maintain that lead and make it 2 years in a row, winning the AMSOIL Ultimate Callout Challenge presented by KT Performance.
Like that, but then there's more than just the 3,000 number behind it. I'm not trying to take anything away from Chris Patterson whatsoever, because he earned it as well. Just now the guys understand and know that it's possible, and the savvy guys will pick up on what those things were. It's going to be something to watch for next year.
You know, Charles, it's kind of like Roger Bannister breaking the 4-minute mile mark. You know, once, that was like a mythical goal, and once someone hit it, then other people were able to do it as well.
Look, this is change on the starting line. Calvin Miller running in the red has moved that sled over toward the left-hand side. Chris leaned in and had a chat there. Chris, what'd you find out? He can't hear me. No speakers over there. Calvin Miller runs this truck in the super stock class. It's still an OEM rail and steel body truck going up against the two frames and the glass bodies. But it is a comes with triple chargers. You see it on the Champions Tour, you see it on the NTV Grand National Tour, as well as events throughout his own state of Pennsylvania.
Calvin Miller says, watch out on the end of the track. Here I come. UCC 22.
Calvin finds some fresh real estate to get down track with. Put that experience to use.
Push to the max.
Dimitri Millard is going to drive this 2.6 truck. Truck is owned by Dakota Lawrence. Dakota brought the truck out here for Dimitri to run it. He had to go back home to Ohio. I know his heart is real heavy today, and I feel for him. Grieving the loss of his mother this weekend. And Dakota, buddy, if you're able to be listening with us, get a hold of me if you ever need to talk, if you need anything. We love you, man, and we're praying for you. Dimitri Millard push to the max. Go Lawrence's truck, ready to rip, pulls the chain tight. Green light comes on from Van Deer Pass. Tonio checks down left Barry from green, gets it, and hosts his own.
Actually, I think that Charles said that's a weight box off another truck.
Yeah, that's the weight box off of Tristan Raymer's truck. Kind of allusion to when it gets worked on.
Yeah, the Lock Performance truck. Dave does still use this truck to plow snow, take his family places and all that kind of thing. So he pulled the car seat out the other day, bolted in the roll cage, and brought it to UCC. This is the third event for it, so.
I don't think he street drives it though on 35s like that with the keyways cranked down, or when you make a tight turn, it rubs on that bumper and you get that. Do it again. Do it again.
You got that down to a T right there. You got that down. That's just right on. You maybe have done that before yourself.
Dave trying to manage things in the cab. He needs to get all 3 chargers lit, but also try to keep the converters efficiently open and get things rolling. The converter starts to tighten up, and the tires don't break off before he's on top of the chargers. He'll be going nowhere fast. It's a little bit of a trick to launch a compound charge automatic truck like this.
And Derek, no stranger to the winner's circle. He was second in 2017 and 2018. He won it all in 2019.
This truck has a very long history in the sport of pulling. It was very successfully campaigned by the Bryants in the 3.0 class with PPO back in the mid-teens. And Merrill picked it up and went through bumper to bumper, top to bottom with power and 3 racing engines. And Derek Rose very instrumental in making that quality come together. It is on cut tires. It is not in 3.6 spec when it comes to the Charger.
Been turned up in this truck. Kevin and his son Tyler, they're very successful pullers before they moved into this truck on with the thumb tractor pullers too.
Yep, Kevin, a second generation driver, Tyler, third out of the Thumb of Michigan.